You're here with the Gwen and Bryan show.
It's our inaugural show.
It is our
it's
first
a big day for
show.
us.
We're excited. I'm Bryan Kluger. I'm with Boomstick Comics and High Def Digest.
And I'm Gwen Reyes with Fresh Fiction TV. And I'm excited to be here. I'm kind of nervous. Are you feeling nervous?
A little nervous. Our first show.
Yeah, it is our first show.
But our show
We're so new. We don't even have a title.
Yeah, we don't have a title.
Show.
It's a working title.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe it'll just stick.
It probably will stick. Working Title Productions or something like that. But we're here to talk to you about all the latest film news and entertainment, TV.
And some movies that we just saw.
Well, the big one that came out this weekend,
was
Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Yep.
I thought it was a really fun movie. It's a lot of action, but it didn't forward the Marvel universe. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point. I really don't think it did forward it at all. It kind of showed a little bit more of the characters, but it made me really just kind of wish that I could see a whole bunch of the movies all at once. Like, I'm starting to kind of understand what Marvel's doing by having these little offshoots that you can put together as one big story. It's like a book. It's actually like a giant book.
A giant comic book. But it was all great to see, like, Robert Downey Jr. and Thor, Chris Hemsworth, to fight again together. Yeah. But would you think it was just more of an action movie this time rather than the story moving?
Yeah, I didn't think that the story moved a lot. I think you and I talked a little bit about this earlier, but I feel like it really was just a lot like the second Star Trek movie, Into Darkness, where you're not learning anything new, you're not really going very far, and I was kind of bored. The first time, I've seen it twice now. First time I saw it, I wasn't really into it. I thought the opening scene was not as exciting and as adventurous as the first Avengers, and I know it's not really fair to compare one to the other. But I also I don't know, it just kind of felt like Joss Whedon had taken a step back or had been beaten down by Marvel in a way, that his vision wasn't as bold and as big as maybe he wanted it to be.
So being a woman going into these Avengers movies, do you like seeing the big female aspects in the characters?
I did, and I really wish, it's one thing to say, like, I wish that we could spend more time with Scarlet Witch. I think that there's so much excitement and opportunity there, and I think that they did a nice job of introducing her. Elizabeth Olsen plays her, and I thought that she was awesome. Great. But I also really thought, people keep saying, I wish that we had what's her name? Black Widow. I wish we had a Black Widow movie. I think that this film did a great job of giving her some more backstory. Yes, there was elements of her story that weren't as original, like some of the things that motivate her I don't think were as original, but I liked that we got a little bit of that backstory. That's
what I liked about this movie so much, is that we got Hawkeye, we got Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch backstories, which we haven't really gotten in other movies. So that's what I really liked about that. And I love Joss Whedon bringing some of his TV shows like Firefly and Buffy into this movie, because there were some really funny moments when Hawkeye is telling Scarlet Witch just how ridiculous everything is. Pure Whedon brilliance.
And I love that there's a scene that same scene at the end, after he's had this whole motivational monologue or soliloquy with her, and he's trying to pump her up, and then he's like, where the city is flying. I love that that's still what he's stuck on, is the fact that the city was flying.
So what would you give Age of Ultron, out of 5 stars?
I'd probably give it like a 3. I know, I think that there's been because I'm definitely comparing it to all the other films. I think there's been far better ones. Like, I think Guardians of the Galaxy was brilliant.
Yes, I agree.
I thought the first Avengers was so good, and you didn't have to follow all the other characters. All the other characters' films did like it. And this one, there was so much. If you didn't see Winter Soldier, if you didn't see Thor 2, if you didn't see a couple of the other ones, that you'd be a little lost. Yeah,
because they brought in a lot of characters and a lot of backstory to it.
Yeah, but what about you?
Well. I gave it a 3.5, I think. So we're on the same page. Like I said, it was not, to quote a certain police commissioner from a Batman movie, Age of Ultron was the movie we needed, but not necessarily we deserved.
Yeah.
Because we got to see all the guys fighting finally, not just coming together, but we didn't get all that story, that moving forward with everything.
Yeah, it just kind of was stagnant. And at the end of it, the teams disbanded and they're angry at each other for some reason. That was it. There's a lot of motivational issues that I'm like, why are we so mad? And I saw it twice. The second time was definitely better for me than the first time.
So you'd recommend people go see it twice?
I would recommend, and I'm not a big rewatcher, but the second time I saw it, I kind of went in, maybe because I knew how it was going to end, I went in with a little bit more understanding, a little bit more patience. But the first time, I was just
and we can both agree that James Spader was one of the best parts of that movie.
I wish
the motion capture,
so good.
The voice, yeah, he was definitely scary. I really loved it. So, what movie would you put with to watch Age of Ultron?
Well, because I liked the darkness of it so much, and I know Marvel's really trying to stay away from the darkness. They really do balance nicely on it, but they want to be a comedy. They want to be light and fluffy more than they want to be dark. Like they're not DC. I saw that. I was thinking. It made me think of this film called Boy Wonder, which is a very independent film that came out maybe in 2009. I want to say. And it's available on Netflix, so you can get it now. But it is about a young boy who is obsessed with comic books. And he starts fancying himself as an actual comic book hero, an actual superhero, and he starts kind of stirring up stuff and getting into trouble and doing things. And then it turns out it's kind of a big reveal at the end, but it turns out that his motivation is more grounded in real life. And I just really loved it. It's really kind of emotional, but it's also just a very brilliant film. You can catch it on Netflix, which
Boy Wonder. Boy Wonder, not to be confused with Wonder Boy.
Not to be confused with Wonder Boy. That's true. There's no Michael Douglas in this one.
All right, awesome. So another movie that's coming out soon is called Far From the Madding Crowd.
Mm-hmm. I always want to call it Maddening Crowd.
That's what I always say, Maddening Crowd, but it's Madding Crowd.
Yep.
And it's with
Carey Mulligan. Some Belgian dude.
Yes.
With a beard. He was very handsome.
We've seen them all. We've seen all these actors before, but it's a period piece about...
And Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Yep. Forget about Michael.
It was a book by who?
Thomas Hardy.
Not
to be confused with Tom
Hardy, yes, Bane. and
it's been made a bunch of times. It was the first time that we saw it was a film made in 1915. So it's been a part of the film vernacular for almost
so it's a remake
years.
of a remake of a remake.
Yeah.
And how do you think this one did?
I really enjoyed it. It does this thing where it's not as romantic in the sense of floweriness. It's very real life. It's a film about a woman who she doesn't want to have to rely on a man.
She's independent.
She's independent.
Would you compare it to like one of the first feminists?
Yeah, I would say like definitely a modern day feminist.
Yes.
Or a period piece feminist. And that was actually one of the things that when Thomas Hardy wrote the book, he was lauded for. They loved this strong character that Carey Mulligan takes on and really inhabits, and she's so subtle. And she's so much fun to watch that you just believe everything. She's meant for that time period.
It was, and it's basically about a well-off-to-do woman who, like you said, does not need a guy in her life, but there's three different men from different aspects: a wealthy guy, a soldier, and a goat farmer, or
a sheep farmer. Yep.
And they all vie after her, and
she's just like, no, I'm not into that. And she came from nothing, and she inherits from her uncle who had kind of adopted her after her parents died. She comes into his entire farm, and at one point had been a very high functioning, well established farm in Dorset, and she comes into it and starts reviving it and running it. And so she's a woman working in a man's world. So you see the film going along of her trying to get to be respected just as much as men. And it's really I loved that aspect. The romance parts in it, they were okay.
But it plays a back seat.
It does.
It's on the back burner. But it's still a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it has if you've read the book, because I actually have not read a lot of Thomas Hardy. He's always so sad. His books are so sad. But it has a very dramatic early scene with Farmer Oak, who is the first man that falls in love with not Beelzebub, Bethesda or something.
Yes.
I don't know what her name is. It's very hard. There's like a whole opening scene of her talking about
how she doesn't like her name.
She hates her name. And I was like, yeah, I totally understand that. But it's the scene that is so visceral in the books, and it had never been captured very well in any filmmaking of what happens and what causes the farmer to lose his entire livelihood.
Yes. I remember we saw that together.
Yeah, we both next to each other.
Just, is this happening?
Yeah.
This happened.
It did. And I at one point hid under my jacket. I was like, no!
But it's a good, it's in the middle of the year. It's coming out during the summer with all the big movies. But this is a movie, I think, that's a smaller indie film that actually is getting Oscar buzz for Carey Mulligan.
She's great in it, and it looks beautiful too.
It's
really
well
nice
shot.
Cinematography.
Yes. So if you've seen Avengers, if you've seen Ex Machina, try
Far From the Madding Crowd. It's a nice palate cleanser. Makes you feel a little bit smarter.
A little bit smarter.
Yeah, because, you know, all of them speak British, so obviously they're smarter than we are.
That's true. All right, I guess that's our film segment.
Hey, Bryan.
Hey, Gwen.
Are we here for our DVD, or sorry, I'm like an old lady, DVD section.
You're our older demographic.
That's true. Even on film, I'm still the old.
They still make DVDs, though.
They do.
But Blu-rays is the way to go, because it's
Got it.
high def, it's
Got it.
1080p, it's
So
glorious
pretty.
sound and video. But let's talk about some stuff that people can look forward to or get now on Blu-ray
For
that they
their
can
home
enjoy.
video.
One that was straight to Blu-ray, straight to home movie, which I can't believe. It should have been released in every theater.
I'm sure it was probably released in one theater for Oscar consideration, if it, you know.
It should have been. It's a movie called The Marine 4.
Yes.
It stars Mike The Miz from The Real World and WWE. Mm-hmm. And although it does have Summer Rae on it, she's a diva in the WWE, she's in it for basically 3 minutes, and that's it. Which is sad.
That is sad, because they were really hyping it up that she had a big part.
She does not.
Oh.
But it's The Marine 4. It's called Moving Target. There's been 3 movies before this.
Yeah, I've seen The Marine too.
Okay, The Marine 1 was with John Cena.
Yep.
The second one was with Ted DiBiase Jr., which is another wrestling. And then part 3 was Mike The Miz.
Okay, so maybe it was 3 that I saw.
3 was with The Miz. He did so well, he came back for the 4th one. So it's a story that you've seen before. A young girl who's like a hacker whistle blows on a company. She has to testify against them. People are out to kill her. Mike The Miz is the strapping young former Marine that has to protect her.
Man.
So basically the movie is one long gunfight in the woods. But the action is done really well, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. Like, it's shot really well. It looks gorgeous. On Blu-ray, the video, just the detail. You can see every piece of hair on everybody's head.
I love that that's what you focused on. You were like, man, it just looks so pretty.
It was pretty. Well, there's nothing really much else to it.
No.
The dialogue is awful. They talk about the SATs, and then Mike The Miz brings up 9/11.
Of course. I mean, why would you not?
You know, that's how it is. But the movie itself is actually, if you like the action, if you like the gun and run type of situation, it's a movie for you.
I think there's definitely a market for that. Like, I really enjoyed. I only saw the third Marine one with The Miz because I was interviewing him, and he was, by the way, like the most charming interview I've ever done. I absolutely loved it. And I've interviewed Tom Hiddleston, who is like the epitome of charm.
So Tom Hiddleston or Mike The Miz?
I will say Mike The Miz.
Can Tom Hiddleston play Mike The Miz?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That would be easy. I think Benedict Cumberbatch would do a better job.
Okay.
But easily. I don't know if Mike The Miz could play Tom Hiddleston though. I don't know if his acting skills extend that far. Yes,
but in Marine 4 Moving Target, Mike does have some acting chops. Like, you can see that he's given it his all. It's just not a good script.
Yeah, I like them. They're fine. They're fine films. Nice Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you don't have to pay too much attention to it, but the action, the fight choreography is pretty good.
Yeah, and being that it's WWE, I'd hope it'd have good choreography.
Yeah, that's true. Another one that's coming out this coming week is the 25th...
Right in time for Mother's Day.
Yes, the 25th anniversary of Goodfellas. Can you believe it's been 25 years?
I can.
Were you born 25 years ago?
Yeah, I'm 80 years old.
As you know, Goodfellas is one of the ultimate gangster movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Scorsese changed the field with this storytelling. It's over 3 hours long.
It's bleak.
Yes, and you know, Scorsese has that way of, even though these are bad guys, he gives you the humanity of each character that you kind of sympathize with Ray Liotta's character.
It's like one of the early... I mean, I know The Godfather did the same thing, but it's one of the earlier films or the best examples of films that give you that time with the villain and makes them into a hero. It's not even just like an anti-hero. It's, you want these guys to be successful, and then you also want to watch them just fall apart.
Exactly, and that's what Goodfellas does so well. Yeah. And I mean, Sopranos had tons of actors from this movie playing almost the same part.
Well, you know.
But it's an excellent Blu-ray. So this Blu-ray was actually, the original Blu-ray came out several years ago, had tons of extras on it, but this 25th anniversary has a 4K scan. It looks amazing on the new TVs. Even better than the last release. So it is worth the upgrade. As far as extras go, all the extras on the original release are imported over here, as well as a 30-minute new extra with Scorsese and pretty much everybody from Goodfellas and everybody from most of Scorsese's movies, including Leo, talk about Goodfellas.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's definitely worth it. The only unfortunate thing is Joe Pesci is nowhere to be seen in the new extra.
Oh.
He must be filming Lethal Weapon 6 or something.
I think so. Do you think that Joe Pesci and Martin Scorsese don't get along anymore?
Oh, they definitely get along.
I wonder if do you think they have brunch on Sundays?
I would hope that they all have brunch on Sundays, and it's all Italian food, and they talk about either movies or killing somebody.
No, I'm imagining them sitting around like a golf course or like a pool, and they all have flowery drinks.
That would
like
be
that
excellent.
dichotomy. And they're like, awesome. All right, guys, let's go film a movie.
Well, you know what's interesting? Joe Pesci, before he got his big break into acting, was a dancer.
Oh.
He danced like.
I love Joe Pesci.
He is, and he was. If you saw Jersey Boys with the Four Seasons, he was one of the guys that got the Jersey Boys together.
Yeah, I didn't see Four Seasons, I didn't see
Jersey
Four Seasons or Jersey Boys.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. But Goodfellas is one of the ultimate. This is the ultimate version to own.
Good.
Highly recommend when it comes out. The other one that comes out is also a Warner Brothers release.
Speaking of the mob,
the Frank Sinatra collection on Blu-ray. Finally, you get all of them in one. You get Anchors Away, On the Town, Guys and Dolls, Ocean's 11, the original, not the George Clooney.
Both are good, guys. Real talk.
Yeah.
I love Ocean's 11, any version.
Yeah, it's any version is good. A lot of people will like the Rat Pack one, but I'll tell you, Steven Soderbergh's with George Clooney, Brad Pitt. I mean, that was a fun movie.
It's a new masterpiece.
Yeah, and this one is fun too, but it's it brings you back to like those 50s and 60s era where, speaking of like Goodfellas or Casino, where Vegas was a different place than it is today.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that there. And like all these are new transfers. There's extras. It comes with a photo booklet.
Do they just look crisper and just so much
all
nicer?
The detail, yeah. So they went and manually went through everything, got rid of all the dirt and debris from the film, and just transferred it. So everything looks more fluid. The colors pop bright. I mean, it's good.
Well, and it's also great. What I love about the fact that they've done an entire collection is it's perfect for new filmy fans who have been saying for years that they're going to watch Frank Sinatra, and it's been hard to find him or get a nice quality of him. They only see him on AMC or TCM, and now to have a chance to get the whole collection, sounds like a fun weekend that you could have and really kind of get a little bite of film history.
Yeah,
which is very important if you love film. You have to see where it came from to enjoy it more.
Absolutely, and then this is probably some of Sinatra's best films. So it's good to have them in a 5 collection set with the booklet, with some of the extras.
You can read when you get bored.
Yeah, I mean, it's a picture book, so, you don't even need reading.
I don't think Frank Sinatra knew how to read.
I don't think so either.
He just knew how to fight.
Yes. He knew that and sing.
Yeah,
it's good. So those are the Blu-rays that we recommend this week.
Well, no, that's one more.
There is one more. We almost forgot the biggest one.
The most important one.
I will tell you that this next Blu-ray that comes out is not coming out on Tuesday like the rest of them. It gets its own special release date.
It does, because it wants you to enjoy Mother's Day in the appropriate fashion.
Which is?
By watching a sad movie about 2 broken people boning each other.
Which is 50 Shades of Grey is finally getting its
Blu-ray
release.
It's my favorite movie of 2015.
Is it the best Mother's Day movie?
Oh, I think so. It was a great Valentine's Day movie, and it's a perfect Mother's Day film.
All right.
I haven't seen the Blu-ray, so I have no idea what the special features are, or if there's anything in it that's actually worth watching.
I do know that on the Blu-ray they have scenes from the next film.
Well, there you go.
That you can check out if you're curious about the sequel.
Now that we're finally getting the sequel in 2017, which I don't know why we're waiting that long to get a second one, but whatever. I'm excited. I saw the movie 3 times, so I've seen 150 Shades of Grey. I will be buying my DVD, or excuse me, Blu-ray. I don't know why I keep calling it a DVD. I'm like an old person.
It might come with a DVD.
Maybe. It probably does. It's got a Blu-ray, DVD, digital download. It's all the things. They just really want you to watch it.
Are you curious if there's going to be a commentary on it?
I hope so. I'm going to watch. I'm sure that the commentary will not include Sam Taylor Johnson because she notoriously left the film. She wanted nothing to do with it after she had done her press junket of it. Kelly Marcel, the screenwriter, also probably is not going to be involved. But I'm really just here to listen to Jamie Dornan uncomfortably speak about how horrible his experience was on that film. So, can't wait.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's getting its own release day because the movie did so well in the theaters. I think they're probably going to roll out all the marketing tools and toys or gift baskets with
oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so great if there was like action figures of 50 Shades of Grey?
That would be awesome.
Get them.
What movie goes well?
A little Funko Pop of Christian Grey.
That would be awesome.
That's perfect. I'm going to send Funko a note. Be like, I want my Funko Pop. Put it right next to my Jax from Sons of Anarchy.
Correct.
My Baby Groot. And then there'll be Christian Grey.
That's what we want, because they all go together. They're all part of the galaxy.
That's true.
With 50 Shades of Grey, another Blu-ray that you should get that came out a long time ago that goes well with it is a movie called Secretary.
Oh, perfect. It's a perfect film.
James Spader's in it.
Yeah.
And Maggie Gyllenhaal. And it is... I would say it's the better of the two.
I think because that film definitely deals more with the psychological part of why somebody finds relief in a BDSM relationship and finding the right person that makes sense for that. With 50 Shades of Grey, it is just pure entertainment. It's just a smutty film for women to enjoy and maybe boyfriends and husbands to be dragged to.
Do you think the 50 Shades of Grey have helped some people's sex lives?
I hope so.
Push them into that.
Push them into something. Or even if it's not even pushing them into that world, maybe making them be a little bit more open to...
More adventurous,
more communicative with their partner. Okay. I would think that's why women read romance novels, because they're either not getting it, so they want to like live a happy life, or they want something that opens their eyes to things they didn't know about.
Awesome.
And so I like 50 Shades of Grey. I think the film is really funny and stupid and enjoyable.
Well, it's coming out on Blu-ray. It's got its own special release. Look for it. Get it.
I'll be there Friday.
That's it.
Can't wait.
And that's the Gwen and Bryan show.
It is the Gwen and Bryan show. Working title.
Thanks for watching.